Hello everyone, and welcome to Linux Forensics here at Pen Tester Academy. In this video, we're going to have a look at readelf. We're going to look a little bit more in depth, and we're going to look at some of the segments and sections in some of these files. So we're going to start with our Xingqiquan bind shell. So if I use readelf -- program headers -W, again, this is to get the wide format on my file, pipe it to more, and here's what we get. So here we have the different segments in this program. It starts with a header, and then this segment tells it which linker to request, and it has right here what that will be. We have two segments to be loaded into memory. The first is the program itself. It's readable and executable, and it is located in the standard address of 4 followed by 5 zeros. And then we have this segment. This segment is also loaded into memory as readable and writable. And notice a few things. It says I will be at this address, 601E10, and notice the offset into the file is 1E10, and I should be aligned on these kinds of boundaries as well, the same boundaries as this guy. So this is readable and writable, this is data, and this is your actual program. So Linux is pretty good about assigning permissions correctly to these different segments. This allows you to more securely run Linux programs because it's harder to inject bad code that gets executed. It's not impossible, it's just harder. Here we have a dynamically loaded segment. We have a note. The note talks about what is going on with this program, how it was built, etc. There's an error handling segment, a stack segment. Notice the stack segment doesn't have any address or size because the stack is created dynamically by the operating system. This is just here saying, hey, I need a stack place. Here we have a relocatable read-only segment. So what this means is once this has been read into memory and relocated to the proper place, it should only be read-only from that point onward. Now notice that it is the same as this guy here. So this guy, once everything is fully loaded, becomes read-only. So what comes next? Here's what comes next. We see the segment to sections. So here are the different segments. 0 corresponds to this first guy, etc. And you will see the sections in those segments. And you will see a little bit of overlap as well. So here we can see that, for example, this guy has an awful lot of stuff inside of him. He has all of these sections that relate to your program, including the text section that has your main program code. So that is the executable view. What about the linking view? Well, if we want to look at that, we need to look at section headers. So let's repeat this, but now we're going to look at section headers. So for our sections, there are 30 of them. Again, these are normally subsets of the segments. So we expect to have more of these. You can see all of the various flags. Only some of these are executable. And you can look further into these different sections if you start to study assembly. So if you, for example, go through some of the excellent assembly and shell coding courses here at Pen Tester Academy, you will see a little bit more about what some of these mean. So this is some of the most interesting parts. In particular, these are the actual programming parts that you'll find. And here there's a little key at the bottom that tells you if is it writable, allocated, merged? Is it some sort of composite? Does it contain strings, such as the comments? Right here, we have comments, informational, etc. So if you want to learn a little bit more in detail, so if you want to learn about the ELF format in more detail, I would recommend you can look at the man pages for readelf, and you can also do a little bit of searching online for the ELF format. You will find an awful lot of information. We could probably have an entire course just on that alone. Well, that's all for this video. As always, if you're enjoying these videos here at Pen Tester Academy, please tell a friend. We'll see you soon.